Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I don't know about you guys, but I always start new series, but then I have such a hard time finishing them. So I am currently in the middle of like approximately 20 series. I know that's a lot. Some of them are books, or some of these books I can't talk. Some of these series don't have the next book released yet, so I am as far into the series as I can be until a new book is released. So I probably have, out of those 20 series, probably like 13 to 14 of them are ones that I can read the next one in. The other amount of them are ones that are not released yet, so I can't finish them. But because of that, I thought it would be fun to try to finish some of the series that I'm in the middle of. So I've got a stack right here of some books that I'm going to be reading in this video. Really it's just these three, but I'm reading one of them on my Kindle. So I thought, why not try to finish some series that I'm in the middle of. The first book we're going to be reading is Heartless by Elsie Silver. This is the second book in the Chestnut Springs series. I have been trying to focus on completing series this year, so I have completed a handful of them, but I've also started new ones. So does it really count? Because for every series I've ended, I've added a new series. Anyway, I started this one last night on my Kindle. I was going to start a book last night. It's an ARC that I received, but I was reading through the content warnings before I started it, and one of the things listed is my main trigger for books, so I decided to not read that one. So I picked up a different book and I decided to start Heartless on my Kindle last night. So I got 6% into it. I'm only on chapter 3, so I'm not super far into it so far, but I am liking it. I don't know. I like that the FMC is the sister to the MMC in the first Rose Hill book, Wild Love. So I kind of like that little crossover. I'm not sure how I'm feeling about the story so far. It seems very lustful so far. I do like everyone's dynamic and the family in this, so I'm excited to read it, but we shall see how this one goes. So I have a little bit of an update. I started my audiobook for this video, and boy, let me tell you, it is a chunker. The audiobook is 29.5 hours long. So needless to say, I'm definitely going to need to come up with some stuff to do in that time frame. I definitely have a puzzle that I'll be doing, but I found a new game on my Switch that I want to try playing today, so I think I'm going to listen to my audiobook for a little bit while I play that. The audiobook that I decided to listen to for this video is Brissinger by Christopher Paolini. It is the third book in the Inheritance saga, or the Aragon series. I have been really enjoying this series so far. It's definitely not my favorite fantasy, but it is really fun and I love the world. I started listening to it when I was at the gym and then while I was doing some grocery shopping at Trader Joe's. So I got a little over 2 hours into the audiobook, so I still have 27 hours and 32 minutes left of it, but it definitely jumps right in to where you ended the second one. That was exciting that it ended, or starts pretty much right after the second one ends. Happy that it's just going straight in. I don't really know what else to say without giving anything away at this current moment. I'm gonna get to listening to it while I play some of this video game, I think. The video game is called Tiny Bookshop. have a little bit of an update for you. Not the kind of update that I was hoping to give you, but I have decided to DNF Heartless. Don't hate me, don't hate me. Please don't hate me. I'm not DNFing the series. I'm still going to continue the series, but they're interconnected standalones, so you don't necessarily have to read every single one, and for this one, it's not for me, and that's okay. I was reading it on my Kindle. I don't know how far I got into it. Let me see. I think I got like 20 to 25%, 26% done with it. So I got about a quarter of the way through, and I've said this before in videos, but I'm just not the biggest spice fan personally, just my own personal preference. I prefer books with either closed door spice or books where I feel like I can just skip over the chapters of spice and it doesn't take away from the story. And with that, I also prefer books that have more of a emotional connection between the two main characters versus just a physical connection between the two main characters. And I feel like this book is very much just lustful and physical, and I'm just not a fan of that. There hasn't been any like spicy scenes yet. I think I got to like chapter 11 maybe, and I looked up when where the spicy scenes are, and the first spicy scene doesn't happen until chapter 14. So I haven't gotten to like the actual spice in it yet. So I don't know if you can like skip over it without it messing with the story, but the male main character specifically and all of his point of views so far has been very much, I don't know how to say things without getting like too graphic, but very much talking about imagining things with the female main character when he's like in the shower, and talking all the time about his like bulge while he looks at her and just like things like that. Again, I'm trying not to say anything without being like too graphic because I don't want the video to get like flagged or anything, but I just am over it. It's so non-stop talking about it, specifically in his point of views, and his point of views are like every other chapter. It keeps going back and forth between the two, or like the last two chapters were both from his point of view. So I'm DNFing Heartless. I'm still going to continue the series, so I'm not DNFing the series. I'm just going to DNF this one, which I'm sad about because I've been loving Elsie Silver's writing, but something about this specific one, and I even looked up like what people think the spiciest one is in the series, and this one and the fifth one I think are the ones that people say are the spiciest. I'm just going to decide to DNF this one, so I will not be continuing this one in this video anymore. But however, with that said, I'm still technically further along in this series than I was, because I can count 1 and 2 done now because I'm not going to finish number 2. So but because of that, I need to pick what book I want to read next. I'm obviously still listening to Brissinger, but I am listening to that while I'm doing my puzzle that I just started. So I'm not going to physically read any of that. I'm a little less than halfway through that book now, and I'm still enjoying it. I got a little confused there for a second, just because I think when I was like listening, I just kind of missed something. So I got a little confused, but I'm caught back up and I understand now, so it's okay. So I'm going to read one of these two. I'm going to try to read both of them in this video. I need to pick which book I'm going to read next, and I guess you'll see in the next clip when I'm reading what book I choose. So cute. Okay, so I have some updates for you. I have finished Brissinger. I finished it a couple days ago. I just haven't gotten around to filming an update for it yet. I really enjoyed it. I gave it 4 stars, I believe. There's a part in it where when I was listening to it, you find out something important information-wise for Aragon. And my jaw was literally, I was doing my puzzle and I stopped and I was like my jaw just dropped and I did not see it coming. So if you've read this series, you probably know what I'm talking about. But if you haven't, you basically learn something that's really important to Aragon. That you thought was something different. You thought you knew who this person was to Aragon, but then you find out that you were wrong and it's actually this other person. And I was very excited with who it ended up being. I also feel like the end was very cliffhanger-y almost in a way, because there's only one more book in the original series, because there's technically a 5th one called Murtag, I forgot how you pronounce his name, but it's about a different character. So there's only one more book in this like actual original series, and you can definitely tell that it is gearing up for the final battle, final everything that's gonna happen. So I am very excited to get to the last one eventually. I definitely am sorry that I didn't talk much about Brissinger while I was reading it. I just was so focused on getting it done because it was a 29.5-hour audiobook. So I was so focused on getting it done and I was working on my puzzle. So it completely slipped my mind to update you mid-book, so sorry. And then as for my update with Accomplice to the Villain, I am about halfway done with this one now, and I am really enjoying it. I have definitely found myself laughing out loud multiple times while reading. These books are just so funny, and the banter back and forth between mainly Evie and Tristan are just so funny. But I also love Kingsley, and seeing his little signs that he holds up are really funny a lot of the times. And I love that we are getting a lot of different point of views in this one. I honestly, it's been so long since I've read the other two, I can't remember if you only get Evie and Tristan's point of views or if you also got point of views from other characters, or if this is the first one that you're getting the point of views of other characters. But you're seeing lots of point of views, and I love that. I'm also really loving that we're getting a little bit more of Kingsley's story, because I love Kingsley. He's one of my favorite characters, and I am just happy that they're focusing on him a little bit more and trying to find a way to turn him back to a human instead of him being a frog, obviously. I am really loving it. These books are like so cozy to me. There's not a ton of high stakes to them, which I do enjoy. Good high stakes fantasy, but this one, like, there's some points to it where obviously stuff is happening. It's not just like nothing's happening in the story, but it's definitely not as like high stakes as like Throne of Glass, for example. But I am really enjoying it. I am excited to sit down here and read for a good chunk of time because I've got a couple hours before my next client comes. So we are going to be reading a ton, and I'm so excited. I have the Barnes & Noble exclusive, and there's a couple extra bonus chapters at the end that I will be reading also, because I need more, as much as I can get from these characters, you know? Okay, so I have a little update. I did end up finishing Accomplice to the Villain last night. I really enjoyed this one. This series is just so funny. It's very like cozy fantasy. There are some higher stake scenes where some things are happening, but for the most part, it's very cozy fantasy. And even when there is the like higher stakes in the scenes, there's still like a sense of humor to it, so it doesn't feel like your heart is pounding on the verge of life or death. Like, there's still humor to it, which makes it so fun and funny. I found myself laughing so much while reading this. I think it might be my favorite out of the series so far. I loved getting to see more of Kingsley, and the ending of this one, very much cliffhanger. Don't know what's going to happen next, and I can't wait until the next one comes out, which I don't even know when the next one's coming out, because I think she just started writing it. Highly recommend this series if you haven't read it yet. They're so funny. Time to pick the next book. Probably going to be the last book in this video, but we are going to be reading 3 Shattered Souls. I'm excited to get going with this one. This is the 3rd and final book, I believe, in the 5 Broken Blades series. So I am really excited to see how this one all wraps up, because I believe this is the last book in the series. So hopefully there is a good wrap up and conclusion. Just like Accomplice to the Villain, this is going to be my first one in the series that I'm physically reading, because I listened to the first 2 of both of these series, but this one, my hold is not going to be available for a couple months, so I'm going to be physically reading this one. I have a little bit of a reading update on 3 Shattered Souls. I took the dust jacket off because I was traveling with it to the gym, and I just didn't want to worry about ripping the dust jacket or anything. And I am also last minute going to San Jose, California this weekend, so I will be on a plane on Sunday and Monday. So I'm going to be bringing it with me and reading some there, but I am about a little less than 100 pages in. I'm on page 93, so a little less than 100 pages in. I thought I could give my first impressions. I am really liking it so far. It dived right into the story, which I really appreciated, because it's the 3rd book in a series, and I love when they just go straight into it, and this one definitely did. And I also really loved at the beginning of this book, I think more book series need to do this. I know like TV shows do this, but there, not only is there the map at the beginning, there's also a character guide, and there are people crossed out that have died. But then there's also a previously in the Broken Blades trilogy, and it has like a little recap of everything that's happened so far, which I really appreciated, because it's been a little while since I've read the second one. I finished the second one in April, so it has been quite a few months since I read it, so I'm really happy that it had that little previously on at the beginning, because it helped me remember what had previously happened. And once I started reading the previously on, it all kind of started coming back to me, and I remembered. but if I would have just dived straight in, it would have taken me a little second to try to remember where we were at, what was going on, that kind of thing. So very happy that it had that, but I am enjoying it so far. Like I said, you dive right in to the story and what is happening, and I am invested in where this is going to end and where it's going to go from here. So we will keep reading, but I wanted to give you my first impressions. Also, this book is just absolutely gorgeous. I just keep looking at it and it's just so pretty, all of these books. But you will be coming along with me as I travel this weekend, very last minute. Let's get reading. First I gotta pack and then we can read. So I guess let's go pack. I'm not taking you with me to pack though, so yeah. Reading update for you. I really wanted to try to finish this on my little weekend trip that I went on, but sadly I did not, mainly because on the flight there I literally only read 3 pages because I got the worst migraine because our airport was really hot, the air conditioning wasn't working very well, and I live in Arizona. And then our airplane was even hotter than the airport for most of the flight. So I just got a terrible migraine. I literally read 3 pages on the flight there because I just could not do it. And then I read some while we were there. I didn't film much because we were with like my husband's grandparents and didn't want to be pulling out a camera and filming while we were spending time with them, but I did read a little bit while I was there, and then I read quite a bit in the airport waiting to board our flight home because our flight originally was supposed to take off at 6:55 p.m. and then got delayed to 7:30 and then got delayed again to 8:20. So we had some time just sitting at the airport, so I definitely read quite a bit there, and then I've read a little bit since we've gone home, so I have about 70 pages left. As for my thoughts on it, I am still really enjoying it. I think it might be my favorite out of the whole series so far. I just feel like the most things have happened in this because it's like the wrap up, because I believe it's just going to be the trilogy. So because of that, it's like everything has to wrap up. I feel like from page 1, just things are happening right after, like one after the other, and we have to wrap it up somehow. So things are kind of high stakes, intense this entire book. So I'm definitely thinking that it is my favorite so far. Okay, so I have a little bit of an update. I finished 3 Shattered Souls today. I brought it with me to the gym to read the last like 72 pages that I had while I was walking, and it was so intense that I ended up staying at the gym walking on the treadmill for an hour and 35 minutes to finish this book because I could not stop. I could not put it down. It was so intense. Sorry if the lighting's changing. The sun is coming out from behind some clouds. So I literally, the war, like the big final battle was about to happen, and I just could not stop reading. Everything was happening all at once, and I needed to know how the story ended. So I walked for an hour and 35 minutes today to finish this book. I think this is my favorite of the series. Really didn't feel like it was a 5-star read all the way up until today when I could not put it down. I was like, I don't know if I should give it 5 stars. Like, it was so intense and I could not put it down that I was like, maybe it's a 5-star, but I don't think I'm gonna give it 5 stars. I can't remember what I gave the other 2, so I'm gonna check that real quick because I know that I liked it more than the first 2, so I don't want to rate it less than those. I'm thinking probably 4.5. I'm thinking where I'm gonna land, but again, not 100% sure. Let me check what I gave the other 2 real quick. Okay, I gave the first 2 both 4 stars, so I think I am gonna land on a 4.5 because I did like it a little bit more than the other 2, but wasn't quite a 5-star. It didn't give me that 5-star feeling the whole time, so 4.5 stars, which means that I've officially finished this series. At least I'm pretty sure it's just gonna be the trilogy, especially because at the beginning it said previously in the Broken Blades trilogy, so that makes me think that this is gonna be the one in like the last one. But also the way that it ended makes me seem like there's going to be another one. So I don't know, maybe there's gonna be like a spin-off one. I'm not sure, but at least for now, this is the last one that's out, even if there is gonna be another random one. So I've officially finished this full series. So that's exciting, which means in this video, we got further along into Chestnut Springs. I'm now on the 3rd one because I DNF'd the 2nd one, but that's okay. We got further into the Aragon series. I only have 1 more left in the original 4 books, so that is really exciting. Really close to finishing that series completely. And then we got as far as we can get into the Assistant to the Villain series. I know there's going to be more books in that series coming out, but we are all caught up. There's only the 3 out and I've read all 3. So really pleased with the progress that I've made in this video. I love this little video series because it's pretty much never gonna end. There's always gonna be able to be a video made because I'm always going to be in the middle of series. I'm in the middle of so many and I continuously will start new series too. So these are always videos that I can make, which is so fun. But let me know if any of these are series that you're in the middle of or that you want to read. Let me know if you want to see me do another one of these sooner rather than later. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!